De'Aaron Fox is sitting out with a hamstring injury, and Spurs fans are desperately waiting for his return. But here's what most people don't understand about why the anticipation is so intense. Everyone knows Fox is fast, everyone knows he can score, but when you actually look at the data, you realize he's not just another good player, he's the exact missing piece that will turn Victor Wembanyama's defensive dominance into actual championship contention. And I'm going to show you exactly why Spurs fans literally can't wait for him to step on the court. So let's start with why the Spurs need Fox so badly, and why every day he's out with this hamstring injury feels like an eternity for the fan base. Look at this insane split. When Wembanyama is on the court, the Spurs have a top 10 defense in the entire league, but when he sits, they become the worst defensive team in basketball. This kid is literally carrying the entire defense on his back, but here's the problem. Great defense doesn't automatically equal wins. Right now, the Spurs have this weird identity. They're one of the slowest teams in the league, 28th in pace, but somehow ranked second in fast break points. How does that even make sense? I call this the pace paradox. Basically, the only time they can run is after Wembanyama blocks a shot or grabs a rebound. But in the half court, they slow to a crawl. They can't consistently attack, can't create their own pace, and most importantly, they can't close games. And this is exactly why they traded for Fox. Enter De'Aaron Fox, and to understand why Spurs fans are checking injury reports every single day, you need to know exactly what kind of player they're waiting for. In Sacramento, Fox averaged over 26 points per game with a 30% usage rate. For context, a 30% usage rate means he's involved in nearly a third of his team's possessions. This is superstar territory. But what makes him special isn't just the volume, it's where he scores. He shoots 52% on two-pointers because he attacks the rim relentlessly. He's one of the fastest players in the league with the ball in his hands, and he's ranked better than 96% of NBA players in ball handling. When Fox decides to go downhill, defenses collapse. And this is crucial for what I'm about to show you about how he'll fit with Wembanyama. He also averaged 6 assists while taking care of the basketball. Oh, and he led at one time the entire NBA in steals with 2 per game. Remember that number, it's going to matter when we talk about the defensive synergy. But here's where things get really interesting and why the excitement is at an all-time high. Because everything I just showed you, that's just regular Fox. Now let me show you why Spurs fans are losing their minds waiting for clutch time Fox. The NBA defines clutch time as the last 5 minutes when the game is within 5 points. These are the possessions that separate contenders from pretenders. And in clutch time last season in Sacramento, Fox shot 60% from the field in the clutch, not 48% like Luka, not 47% like DeMar DeRozan, not even close to SGA's 40%, 60%. And it's not just efficiency, he scored the most clutch points in the entire league last season. His true shooting percentage, which accounts for free throws and 3-pointers, was 66% in the clutch. He scored almost 60 points per 100 possessions when the game was on the line. Let me say that again, when the game matters most, De'Aaron Fox was the most efficient high-volume scorer in the entire NBA. And the Spurs are waiting for him to bring that to San Antonio. Okay, so Fox is elite, but why is he the perfect fit for San Antonio specifically? This is where the anticipation becomes crystal clear, because when you project what happens when he finally takes the court, the synergy is almost too perfect. Imagine this, Wembanyama blocks a shot or grabs a defensive rebound. Fox, one of the fastest players in the league who averaged 2 steals per game, is already sprinting up the court. Those defensive stops won't just prevent points anymore, they'll guarantee points on the other end. The Spurs are already second in fast break points. When Fox returns, they're going to be absolutely unstoppable in transition. In the half court, Fox's downhill pressure will force defenses to make an impossible choice. Stop Fox from getting to the rim or help on Wembanyama. You can't do both. When Fox attacks and draws that 52% shooting efficiency into the paint, defenders have to collapse, which means Wemby will get cleaner looks, better spacing, and won't have to force difficult shots. But the biggest impact, it comes down to this formula that Spurs fans are dreaming about. When Fox returns and the Spurs get into the final 5 minutes of close games, they'll have the best rim protector in basketball paired with the most efficient closer in the league. That's not just an improvement, that's a championship formula waiting to be activated. So when Fox finally returns from this hamstring injury, what should we actually be looking for? Here are the 3 key things that will tell us if this fit is as perfect as the numbers suggest. First, watch the close games. The Spurs have been losing tight contests because they don't have a reliable closer. The moment Fox is healthy, those final possessions should look completely different. If he brings that 60% clutch shooting to San Antonio, those losses turn into wins immediately. Second, don't just watch Fox's stats, watch what happens to Wembanyama. His usage should drop slightly, but his efficiency should skyrocket. He'll take fewer desperation shots and more high-quality looks created by Fox's gravity. If Wemby's shooting percentages jump while his turnovers drop, we'll know the fit is working. And third, the defense could become absolutely terrifying. Fox's 2 steals per game and perimeter pressure will funnel everything toward Wembanyama's shot blocking. If they can create this perimeter to rim defensive system, other teams are going to have nightmares trying to score on them. Look, we've seen this pattern before in NBA history. You can't win a championship with just defense. You can't win with just offense. You need both, and you need them to peak in the same moments. The Spurs have spent years building around Victor Wembanyama's generational defense, and that foundation is set. They already have a top 10 defense when Wemby's on the court, but defense alone isn't enough to win championships. They needed the offensive engine, the closer, the speed catalyst that could turn Wemby's defensive dominance into actual wins. De'Aaron Fox is that missing piece, not just because he's fast or because he can score, but because when you look at the numbers, the clutch stats, the efficiency, the playmaking, the steals, he's the exact statistical blueprint for what this team needs to compete for a title. So yeah, Spurs fans are anxiously waiting for that injury report to clear. They're refreshing Twitter for any update on his hamstring. And now you know why. Because the moment Fox steps on that court, the Spurs don't just get better, they become a legitimate championship threat. What do you think? How long until Fox is back? And when he returns, how quickly do the Spurs become real contenders? Drop your predictions in the comments below. And if you want more breakdowns like this, where we actually look at the numbers instead of just hot takes, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.